And you just listened to a young girl who was saying that the Nigerian community here is totally very angry. It covers all those aspects affecting the various regions of our people. Beth was the Ijaw country of the Niger Delta of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He went to several schools. His major academic genesis was at the government college, Ujeli. And
go gather, destroy their food. Motivated camp and that other camp, some more camp. You don't compensate everybody.
In its key generation sometimes. Today our focus will be on the style of J.P. Clark, a poet and writer, and we shall also be very interested in his poem Akbar Dancer. Hello and welcome. In today's People, Places and Events, I shall be bringing you excerpts of the presentations of the representative of Positive Global Coalition during the workshop organized by the African Center for Community and Development with collaboration from the Limbe Botanic Garden, titled Fighting Poverty and Engaging Conservation Through Sounds. He talked about poverty and corruption and made a practical link between the two concepts, as well as a hypothetical and academic standpoint that suggests the fact that it might be the main cause to poverty in Africa and in the third world.
Poverty and corruption. What's the relationship? What's the blend? Is that a marriage or what? We have a learned economist here who is going to brief us, give us an insight on this. He is going to talk on the impact of corruption on poverty. That's poverty and corruption. Mr. Arrey Kingsley of Positive Global Coalition, you are welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, good people. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's my singular pleasure to be talking to you people today about poverty and corruption. But before I get delve into the main menu of the day, I would like to make a little observation. There is always a talk of war. There's war in Angola, there's war everywhere. I don't want to think that before all these wars, there still is one main war that we'll be fighting from the beginning of time. It's a war against poverty. More than 92% of the world population is living below the poverty line. Some people have won the war, but the majority are still into the war. So I would like to seize this opportunity to thank the director of African Center for Community and Development, Mr. Arrey Ivo, to have been able to identify the fact that poverty is a trouble, it's a war that we are all facing. And today, I'm going to try to bring some more insights into the idea of poverty. We all know that there can be 300 million reasons why poverty does exist. But the director of African Center for Community and Development, who I want to appreciate very much, has been able to identify corruption as debt. I'm specifically avoiding to use the word A as the main culprit of poverty. So a write-up into the notion of poverty and corruption is a very rich and challenging experience for both concepts, as the concept of poverty and the concept of corruption are preoccupied our society for a very long time. They are identified as major culprits in man's inability to have a fulfilling material, social, and moral life. They are equally challenging. They are equally very challenging, for it is very difficult to clearly place a finger on what constitutes both or does not constitute both, and to have a definite meaning or definition of both concepts. You don't know the cost or what it takes to establish a land certificate. It is very impossible for you to stand in front of the land tenure officials and defend your rights. So to fight corruption, first we have to empower ourselves with information. If we are informed, it will be very difficult for for people to take advantage of us. And we should be aware that the fight against corruption is a personal fight. We should educate ourselves, we should go to schools, and we should avoid doing corrupt things. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Kingsley, Ndip, Arrey. Is there another person with a question before we move over to the next point of the day? Okay, Madam, you have a question?
Thank you. Mr. Ndip, in your paper, you didn't mention of the fact that corruption nourishes poverty. I would like you to explain that to me in other words.
Okay. I will explain by giving an example. Or let's say analogy. A company is supposed to be opened in Limbe. Let me say they want to build a seaport in Limbe. That project will have the capacity of employing 5,000 Cameroonians. 5,000 Cameroonians plus their families will have the capacity of directly impacting on the lives of at least 50,000 Cameroonians. At the macro economic level, the multiplier effect of that investment is going to boost the living standards of Limbe. Now, how will corruption affect that project? If the director of that project is corrupt, if the people implementing the projects are corrupt, we will see that the project in Limbe will not see the light of day, and by extension, at least 50,000 Cameroonians will remain below the poverty line. So, I think we don't need to be rocket scientists to see that 50,000 Cameroonians will be poor because of the corruption that took place at the side of the project. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that. I think we have a gentleman here who wants to ask a question.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ndip. As a matter of fact, it has been a very welcome paper. And as all we know, in our society, in Cameroon in particular, corruption has been one of our major ills in this country, and it's been like some sort of a sing song in all the quarters of this country. I just want to ask you a simple question. How then can you advise our government in particular, because it starts from the government before it comes down to the citizenry? How then can you advise our government the mechanisms, the actions to be taken to limit, because we cannot totally eradicate the corruption in our society and even anywhere.
Before I answer your question, I want us to remember that those who suffer from corruption are us, the common people. So if there should be a persistent fight against corruption, it should not even come from the government. It should come from us. I am not a student of history, but I want to remember that it is because Rosa Parks refused to give her seats in a bus in America that the civil rights movement started in America. It was not American government. Civil rights, black liberty in America was not given to the people. They fought for it, and today they have it. So I want to think that, before coming to your question, I want to first advise that the fight against corruption is a personal fight. And you cannot fight if you don't have the tools to fight. If you are not aware, if you don't know what is your right, people should stand up for themselves. No policeman, I've never seen a policeman removing a gun to take 500 francs from somebody. I've never seen a policeman slapping somebody to take 500 francs. What I've seen is people willfully giving 5,000 francs or 500 francs to police people. I think if we refuse to give them, there's no way they can fight us.
Thank you very much for watching excerpts of the presentation of the representative of Positive Global Coalition, Mr. Ndip Arrey Kingsley, during the workshop on fighting poverty and engaging conservation through sounds. It has been Arrey Ivo for people, places, and events.
Some lives are meaningful.
Some are empty.
There are lives that are eventful, with too much meaning and riches to offer humankind. Long after some of these earthly adventures are no more, one can still find footprints of these great lives on the pavements of our contemporary lives.
Good evening, you're welcome to the program Green Planet.